Hey, what's happening, Roland? Well, today's October the 11th. Yesterday was my son Scott's 50th birthday, so that was a big deal. And he went up to South Carolina to see the people in Charleston, some real good friends of theirs. But anyway, listen, last week, I went to Minnesota. I'd gone to Arkansas the week before, and then last week I was in Minnesota. I had the luckiest week you've ever seen. I'm going to tell you how lucky it was. Not only every day was just a perfect filming day, we went out 5 or 6 days in a row and filmed great shows in about 10 different lakes. We'd switch lakes, and everywhere we'd go, we'd catch fish. I made a lot of good film work. Okay, now that was number one. But the big lucky point was the phone that you're seeing right now. I'm using an iPhone to record this little episode right here. I put it down on the side of the boat. I was back at the launch ramp. I had a jacket, my power pole jacket, I put here, and I had a hat, a Lou's hat. I put it here, and I put these sunglasses right here, and I put the phone that you're using right now. I put it right here, and we were loading stuff, and there was time to leave. And I got back in the car, and I said, "Well, heck, it's time to leave. Let's go eat." Well, I forgot all this stuff. It was on the boat. I got on the highway at 65-mile-an-hour limit. I get up to 70. I'm flying down the highway, and I get all the way to the restaurant in Park Rapids. It's where I'm staying, a real convenient place. And I said, "Where's my phone? Where's my sunglasses? Oh, my heavens. You left it on the boat." I looked in the boat. It's all gone. This, by the way, had blown off and blown through here. And somehow as it blew back, it blew like this and got caught like that. I didn't know it was there. And I looked there. Here my sunglasses are. Now, that's one luck. I mean, that's pretty lucky to have the sunglasses blow there and just come flying through here and catch on that somehow. And that's where they were, okay? But my phone was gone. My jacket was gone, and my hat was gone. I said, I'll never find them. It's just a 1%, one-tenth of 1% chance of going 25 miles back. And it's getting dark. It's almost dark. The wind's blowing. Interstate kind of road, 4-lane highway. I'll never find the phone. So I started going back. I said, "You guys go to the restaurant. I'm going to go back." So every single skunk I'd come to, and old tire and old trash bag, I'd stop and look, and no, it's not my power pole jacket. So finally, I'm just completely lost. Oh, I don't have my contacts for my information on my phone. It's such a big deal. So I'd gone 20 miles back. I went 20 miles back. I was 5 miles from the launch ramp. So I'll never find it. The sun had gone down. It was almost dark. I saw a dark little thing. Went over. It's my jacket. My jacket's there. Maybe my phone's somewhere nearby. So I'm looking in the median, and I'm looking in the grass everywhere. And sure enough, I found my phone. Phone's laying there, blown out of the boat at 70 miles an hour. Didn't hurt the phone. The only thing I lost was my hat. I didn't find my Lou's hat. But I found my jacket, my phone, and my sunglasses. Now, is that not luck? I wish I'd bought a lottery ticket, because that would have been a good one. I really did something. And all week was good. And I'll tell you one reason why it was good was I really got some good tackle now. One of my favorite things that I was doing up there in Minnesota, and I did it in Arkansas as well, I love frog fishing. Frog fishing is just like one of the favorite things. And now I got a perfect frog rod. I'm using, this happens to be a 50-pound test line. This particular rod, this is right here, okay, look at it. It's a 7.2 power heavy action. CLHFR. Boy, that's a good one. That's a Lou's rod, 14 to 65 pound test. It's really, really a heavy duty rod. And it throws so far. I mean, I can't throw far enough here, but I had to stop it. But it'll throw the whole, almost all the line off. I just threw 100 foot right then. And I'm way out there. The nice thing about this rod with the braid, I could be in the lily pads like I was and I'd be 100 feet out with making a long cast. And I'd put the rod in my stomach like this, and I'd hold it like this. And when it hit it, I'd just kind of hold like this and back up and hit them. I set the hook on so many fish. I didn't have a problem setting the hook. It was so good. It's so efficient. Braid is the only way to go. If you try to throw frogs on monofilament or something like that, you're just going to have a big disappointment. Be too much stretch. I know we used to do it before we had braid, but we lost an awful lot of fish. Now, if you look at the frog guys, and I've fished with the guys like Ish Monroe, who's a frog guy. I fished with the Dean Rojas. It's actually the creator of this 65 bronze eye frog that's so good. He and I fished in California together. We fished on Lake Okeechobee together. We fished a couple other places together, filming 2 or 3 different things. And he always uses at least a 50-pound braid, sometimes even 65-pound braid. But a 50-pound braid is the minimum he'll use. And the one thing about Dean Rojas that he'll do is this frog works. In other words, you'll throw it in open water a lot, and if you twitch it just a little bit, just those kind of little twitches like that. Now this sounds crazy, and it doesn't show it here because I wish I was on the water. This walks like a walking lure. In other words, this frog will actually go left, right, left. I mean, it'll walk like a Zara spook. You can make it walk in open water, and it's really enticing. And if you have one that's not all eaten up with pike holes, see, the biggest problem with fishing up north, like I was in Park Rapids area, there's an occasional pike comes along, and pike have sharp teeth. And so what happens after you catch about a dozen pike on this thing, they finally have little holes in them and they start to leak. Well, this one's pretty new and doesn't have any pike holes in it, but they do ruin a frog. But normally a frog, if I don't have pike biting it, I can take this bronze-eye frog and catch like 20 or 30 bass off of it. Now, one thing I do, and I've shown you this many times, I take pliers to make this thing really work right. I take pliers and I can't get the pliers out. I take my pliers and I'll take the pliers, put them on the hook right here, like that, right there. And now I'll just bend it out. In other words, I'll hold this down and I'll just bend it out like that. I'll bend it out and maybe even twist it out this way. And what that does, and I keep fooling with it, I end up with a little teeny bit of a gap by doing it on each hook point. In other words, the hook point is not touching the rubber. It's about a 32nd or a 16th of an inch away from the rubber. Just a little teeny bit away from the rubber. Not very much, just a tad. It's just enough that it helps a tremendous amount in hooking up these fish. It really, really does a job. And the other thing that I have that's so good is I have a Lew's reel. Now this is the Lew's, well, it's the Hypermag. It's a Hypermag 7.1, yeah, 7.5 to 1. 7.5 to 1. I have another reel that's awful good here. That it's an 8. This is an 8.5 to 1. That's that reel there. But one of them is an 8.5 to 1. That I like a lot too. And here's another Hypermag that I have the scrounger on. Now the scrounger was working, and I caught quite a few fish on the scrounger. On this scrounger now, I don't have braid. I just have 17-pound fluorocarbon, and this happens to be the half-ounce model. I was throwing this in some of the deep water, and I'd put a little on the scrounger, and I caught a few bass on it. I'd take this swimming minnow looking thing from scrounger, and I'd put it on the worm right like this, and that's a good combination. Let me just show you what I end up with. I need to go a little bit farther down. And this tail action is really good. Now, this is the half-ounce model, and I can take super glue. If I want to really keep it on there, I can take super glue and do it. Or that's could be a little straighter. I can kind of redo that, but that's basically the deal. It's got a good sharp hook, and this little rubber, it's not rubber. It's kind of a, I don't know, silicone looking stuff, and it holds the shape pretty good. It's a little collar, and what it does, it makes the whole jig vibrate back and forth like this. So as it comes through the water, this tail action is really, really kind of giving it something. And I'm catching both largemouth and smallmouth. In fact, in the river this last week, I didn't film this, but I got last weekend. I was Saturday and Sunday. I was I was on the Tennessee River below Wilson Dam with Barry Maynard, my good friend, and we were throwing these scroungers. One of the things we threw, and the day before, one of Barry's friends caught a 6-pound, 12-ounce smallmouth, 6-pound, 12-ounce smallmouth on the scrounger, on this very same bait. He caught one on the half-ounce scrounger. So he caught almost a 7-pound smallmouth, which is just really, really terrific big smallmouth. When we went out there the other day with Barry, what we do in that heavy current, they were running 3 or 4 gates, and it was like more than an average amount of water coming down the river. So we had to get to the current seam. Now, where the current seam is where all the swift water is just out from it, and boy, I mean, it's just flying down there. And then the other thing we're doing, we're getting at the edge, and there's like a back eddy, and we're throwing this scrounger kind of right into the current, but then it sinks down and it sweeps around. It sweeps around. You're kind of in a calm water here. It sweeps around, and somewhere in that current seam, that's where the smallmouth were. Now, the other day, Barry and I caught a couple that were right around 3.5 pounds, smallmouth, and by luck, by chance, by luck, Barry caught a big one on a different swim bait on similar to that, just a swim bait without the scrounger deal, and he caught a 7-pound largemouth in the calm water back there. So anyway, we had that was some really good luck on that was on the Tennessee River below Wilson Lake, below the Wilson. It's a Wilson Dam. It's below the Lake Wilson. Yeah, right, Lake Wilson. Anyway, that's a big deal. But anyway, this frog thing, I just want to tell you, I caught so many fish this week. I caught a couple hundred fish last week, on not only in Minnesota, which was really fantastic, but also in Arkansas. The frog was just fantastic. And basically, what I do to catch them on a frog, I don't make a 150-foot cast, but I do throw to the heavy cover. And by throwing to the heavy cover, I can hardly see the frog. That's why I use a white frog. And a lot of times I'll have it tucked into my stomach right here. Or I'll even take this button right here, and I'll put one of these cushion buttons on the end right there. I usually, a lot of times I'll put it there. It's softer. You can still, but it gets the job done when it's soft like this. You can hold it really good. But when they set the hook, they hit it. I just kind of pause and reel it and just blast them out of there. I mean, I would get very, very, very aggressive with the strike involved in that thing. But anyway, that's kind of what's happening in my world. It was a great trip up to Minnesota. The Arkansas was part of the deal, and one of the reasons why we went to Arkansas in the first place was the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame was having a big annual banquet, and they wanted to present me with the big blue jacket. I was in one of the first. I was the first inductee group. It was Larry Nixon, myself, Bobby Murray, Ray Scott, Bill Dance, myself, maybe somebody else, I can't remember. And we were all inducted that first round 30 years ago, I think it was. Anyway, it's been quite a ride, and fishing's been my game. We've had a great time, and I try to bring you little snippets of information every week. I try to do something different, and this week was a big lucky week of great fishing up in Minnesota, and I just want to cap that off with the fact I found my phone. Anyway, folks, we thank you for watching, and hit that likes button. All my sponsors like Bass Pro and the Spike It people, and of course the Booyah people. I'm cleaning my boat right now. Got my Booyah products ready to go, ready to get it all spick and span for my next guide trip. So hit that likes button. We'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.